Everybody can hear me, right? Okay, thank you, York. So where are we? Okay, so my name is Phil, research scientist at the City Science Group of the Media Lab, and today I am just going to share some updates with everyone on our collaboration with Taipei Tech and all the latest from our projects. So I will just start out by highlighting some key features of this collaboration. Taipei Tech was founded in 1912 as a vocational training school during the Japanese times, and so there is a very strong hands-on learn by doing foundation. So our collaboration actually started out by just running small workshops, inviting students to come out to the workshop, and then have them find something to do, and then find a way, and eventually they figure out an angle to contribute to the project, and that was the beginning. Such as the workshop you see here 2-3 years ago, where we're shipping one PEV. This is a autonomous tricycle that Luis just showed earlier. It's meant to be a shared use, on-demand electric bike for passenger and cargo use. And then so that's Taipei Tech, and then we like to work in Taipei also because Taipei is an industrial R&D hub for a lot of manufacturing activities across Asia. Here you have this company called FSA. FSA does all the high-end the manufacturing and design of high-end bicycling components. So a lot of bicycles you see here in Andorra during Tour de France, the critical components are all coming from this company here in Taiwan. So as we are working on a new transport vehicle, we also need to have direct access to some of the best components that is possible and accessible on the market. And then another key features of this collaboration is that we are actually dealing with a very transparent and reliable set of players across both public and private sectors in Taiwan. This is very important because from MIT, we only have so much time. We have a small team. We do not have the time to navigate, spend a lot of time to navigate the political and cultural complexities of some of these things you will see in working in some countries. And Taiwan, for instance, has really good open data that we can use for city science research. And so let's go back to the PEV. Started around 2 years ago. We started with this small-scale workshop. That's Chiang Kai-shek's grandson. He's also a politician today. So we are able to pull in a lot of students, a lot of people from the public sector, also the private sector, to come observe and then find a way to help in the project. It started out with something like this, and then now today, earlier this year, we began to do full testings outdoor in an uncontrolled environment. By that, we mean not having, yes, we have police permits, we tell the city, but we're not blocking access from pedestrians or cyclists. So the PEV is out on the street, in the parks, in the wild. And what you see here, this is one of our visiting students from Taipei Tech, and Yago, a student from San Sebastian. And so this is a typical scene where you would have a PEV running on a bike lane of the public park during rush hour, and you have people walking by, you have cyclists going by, people are just getting on with their lives. And so this is now the testing that we're doing more and more in Taipei, and maybe again in Andorra in the coming year, 2019. And you can see, right, this is the bike is going through the intersection, and some people stop by, they take a look at it, some people just look at it and they move on. And so now more and more, we are also starting to do some what we call the interface testing, right? So autonomous robot is just the starting point, and we need to figure out a way for the people and communicate with the robot, and also for the vice versa, for the robot to communicate backward to the people. And then more service deployments. We'll just skip that video. Here is where we're using this small living lab, which is an is an old Air Force base in the middle of the city that the government has provided us for testing the vehicle. And here we're able to use this side, there are roads. It's a quasi-urban environment where we can actually deploy the PEV and try the server scenario. So here's Jerry, our master student. He's trying the ride-hailing app, right? So you set your origin and destination. PEV comes to you, you can ride it, and so that's a simple demonstration. And here you have again at the same site at the living lab, the Air Force Base. We're testing this visual communication system for the PEV to communicate the intention, where it's going, so that the person walking across or the bicycle coming across can know that PEV is about to come through, so that they are able to communicate a little bit and share the street space in a safe and productive fashion. And the last demo here you see is that we're also experimenting with services, like say bodyguards, right? Some girls, boys and girls are afraid to be walking alone at nighttime. Perhaps you can have a bodyguard, on-demand bodyguard service to come and walk with you during nighttime, so that there is one level of deterrence to improve your safety. And of course, a lot of these ideas don't come from, they don't just grow from the trees, right? They actually come from these coordinated, organized events, such as the hackathon that Andorra was present last year. And what we do is we would ship in a lot of researchers from our group, our private sector collaborators, to come and mentor the event. So we will recruit, 100 plus minus 20 students to actually break down into teams, and we will intensively mentor each group and then have them come up with new ideas. So what I just showed you earlier, some of the ideas actually came out from the hackathon. And so what we're hoping that the one in March this year in Andorra will be just as energetic as this one. And what you're seeing here, this is probably 1 a.m. in the morning. 1 a.m. in the morning, we have our sponsors, research sponsors from Japan, and then I believe Andorra was there too. Also still reviewing student projects to sustain the energy. And then I mentioned open data earlier, right? So this is one example where we just purely use open data from Taipei to create this supply-demand visual analytic platform to inform the construction of bike lanes. So what you're seeing here is the theoretical usage of the roads by share bikes. There are 20 million trips per year in Taipei on share bike system. So we use this to compute and compare to the presence of bike lanes, so that you can use this sort of platform, all open data, to inform the government on where to prioritize the funding for building new bike lanes. And one last update, we have actually a new lab space that's opening up next year. So this is actually the building completion ceremony that happened 2 weeks ago in Taipei. So starting in spring 2020, we will have a brand new lab space in Taipei to accommodate more visiting researchers, and we're hoping to also see more students coming from this part of the world, from Andorra, from France, from Barcelona, to come and work with us. And then lastly, Yago. So what you see here, this is the last image. So Yago was one of our visiting students, and he also went and spent a couple months in Taipei working with our students here. So he will share more with you on his experience on Wednesday or Thursday. And you can also speak with him directly. So thank you.